We got up before dawn just to bring you
Top of the morning from beautiful downtown Baltimore.
Hi to Top of the Morning.
Top of the morning to all of you.
Hi, Top of the Morning.
All right, welcome to Top of the Morning, filmed from the World Trade Center in Baltimore. I'm your host, Kevin Costello.
And I'm Tina Bird. Our wonderful guests today have some wonderful causes. Shari with autism and Bobbie Burnette with cancer research.
Absolutely, so we hope you will be sticking around, you will be enjoying the show, and you're going to hear some very wonderful stories from our two wonderful guests. Thank you, we'll be right back.
We've got a mile of waterfront out here. Actually about a mile and a half. That is perhaps historically some of the most significant waterfront in North America in terms of the things that have been done here, the things that have been caused by the things that have been done here.
Fells Point, I think, could very well secede from the city and be happy.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Tina Bird.
And I'm Kevin Costello.
And our wonderful guest right now is Bobbie Burnette. And she is the artist behind wonderful sculptures such as these. All of the proceeds would go to benefit cancer research.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the idea behind, what it is that we're looking at here, these two beautiful pieces, and, the importance of where this funding is going to be going to.
In 1982 at Christmas, I designed one angel for a friend who was at Hopkins. And she went in for 3 months, and everyone was cooking and doing carpooling for her children. But I found my best talent was in creating stained glass. So I designed one angel, not this one, but only one angel for her to take for 3 months to be with her, to give her love, hope, care, and comfort while she was in Hopkins. Other people wanted them, and we gave her money the first year for medical expenses since her husband was unemployed and she had 3 children under 10. And we made several hundred angels and gave the family money for their expenses. unfortunately, she passed away the following December. And we continue to make angels, and to date, we've made over 40,000 angels and shipped them all over the world.
Wow.
And that's the history.
That's quite a feat.
Absolutely, and the money that you raise from this, from the sale of these angels, goes towards cancer research and helping out cancer patients. Is that correct?
Yes, right. We have decided that since we're essentially a group of volunteers that live in Annapolis, we want to provide care for patients in Arundel Hospital. So each year we give 50% of our money to buy equipment for patients at Anne Arundel. And the other 50% every year goes to Johns Hopkins for cancer research equipment. And we select the equipment at both places. And we started this in 1983. And we've given over $845,000 from the sale of this art. And our goal is to reach $1 million.
Wow.
I'm sure you will be reaching
I
that.
hope so.
Yeah. They are beautiful, so, you know, I mean, hopefully this is translating well on camera. These are exceptional pieces
And
of
not
art.
only that, but right now at this moment, with the holidays coming up, and angel being so symbolic for so many, it is a wonderful opportunity to even buy them just for something, decoration in the house, beautiful for anybody of any age. And
Absolutely. I'm curious to know, when it comes to, you know, finding these pieces and buying them from you guys, what's the best way to do that?
Well, the first way is to check our website. It's www.caringcollection.org. Or if you're able to do that, or as we've discovered from the outpouring of calls from people for a recent article in Diapos, many people do not do the internet, so they simply call us at 410-849-5333 and reach us in our residential studio in Annapolis.
that number again is 410-849-5333.
Correct.
And the website is Caring Collection, C-A-R-I-N-G collection.com, not the lady's name.
No, .org.
Oh,
.org.
.org.
Sorry.
CARINGCOLLECTION.org.
And we'll have that at the bottom, so you can feel free to, you know, just look at your screen for that.
Your pieces are so lovely. I understand that you have a variety to choose from, not just the angel and this piece here. Can you tell us what some examples someone might find that they would be interested in?
Yes, we have a large variety of sun catchers, that many of which are related to Maryland. We have Maryland crabs, and we have sailboats and skipjacks and golf logo sun catchers and snowflakes and flowers and red hats, a variety of things that for the interest of all people. And at holidays we have Easter bunnies, and at Christmas we have lots of mosaic Christmas trees and candles and ornaments and mosaic angels. So.
It sounds like you've got the whole gamut covered, and it's just wonderful pieces. So the Benefits Proceed Cancer Research, can you tell us what particularly they are doing in the research that you are funding?
Well, yes, it's been very exciting for us because each year we're invited up to Hopkins to visit the research lab, and we're able to talk to the doctors who have been the recipient of our funds. We see what equipment they've been able to buy, especially for prostate cancer or breast cancer. And one of the most fascinating things has been recently we gave money for Dr. Leisha Edmonds at Hopkins to receive money for her research in a serum to help people with 4-stage breast cancer. And it's been very rewarding, especially because now we have a young woman who actually works with us, who is the recipient of the serum and is doing well. She is a friend of the daughter of the person for whom I made the first angel. And she's moved to Florida, but she comes up to see her doctors here, and she comes to work in our studio. So it's an incredible circle of friends, and it gives me goosebumps because I once said that the ripples of caring went down the Severn River to Annapolis and up to the bay through to Baltimore, but now the circle of care goes all around the world to people, and we send our artwork everywhere.
Right, and it's incredible, and that is an incredible story to hear, and of course, touching the heart to hear that the money that you guys have raised, you can put a face to the lives that you've been able to save. One of the things I've noticed is that you sell this artwork across the world, and the money stays locally within Baltimore, is what you were saying, with Annapolis. And how important is that, and how important do you feel Baltimore is and Johns Hopkins is to the fight against cancer?
It's absolutely fantastic because they do such wonderful research at Johns Hopkins, and we feel each one of us who are volunteers live here in Maryland, and we feel that we are cared for. Our families are cared for at Hopkins, our friends are cared for at Hopkins, and now there's a wonderful relationship that's building between Hopkins and Anne Arundel, so that people that may have had surgery at Hopkins are then able to follow up with their chemotherapy or radiation at Anne Arundel, so they don't have to drive back and forth. So we're finding that is to be a wonderful thing for us, and we want to support Johns Hopkins and Baltimore.
Absolutely, and you're doing an impressive job, especially with all the money that you've raised and getting closer to $1 million. You've done a lot of, I'm sure, work on researching all methods of. I mean, you said that you choose the equipment and you work with the doctors and teams on what exactly it is you choose. What do you yourself do the research? Do you have people that do research for you?
What we do is each year we know the amount of money that we are able to give, which we divide between the two hospitals, and we call the hospitals and discuss it with them. And we ask them to submit 3 items, and then we select the one we want them to purchase. And they must come to our studio in the spring. We will present them with a check, and then they tell the people gathered there, a couple hundred people who come to our studio, just exactly what is being purchased. That is one of the most important things to know, is that people like to know where their research money, where their money, people who give donations like to know exactly where their money is given. And we make that a point to be known. And we work hard for that, and we want to know that from directly.
Absolutely. We're glad that you are able to inform us on this. Right now, we need to take a break, though, and we will hear more when we come back.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning with Kevin Costello.
And Tina Bird.
Yes, and we are here with Bobbie Burnette. So you, obviously you were talking earlier about your studio, and what kind of goes on there?
Everything. It's a wonderful environment. Actually, the studio is located in the basement of my house, and it extends beyond the house because there's one whole bedroom that's still filled with boxes for the angels that we ship everywhere. And another room is filled with packing pellets because we have to put the gift box into shipping boxes. But the most important and the most wonderful ingredient of all is all the 90 wonderful volunteers that work there each week. They range in age from 14 to 89. We're having a party for the person who will be 90 next year. So there's people of all ages and all backgrounds, and they work together. And in addition to that 90 volunteers, we have 50 students who work in the studio, in the summer and after school because they're doing community service for their school or their church. So it's just wonderful. And these people become a family. They work together and they bond together. Many of them themselves are cancer survivors. Many of their families have had someone with cancer. And 2 times during the last 29 years, we've had 2 families that have had 4 generations of people working simultaneously with us in our studio. And it's just wonderful. They draw, they cut, they grind, they foil and solder the artwork. And everyone does exactly what they want, when they want. And
That's a pretty sweet job.
It is, and they're all well paid. All the jelly beans and pretzels they can eat. So that's the way that it operates. But it's wonderful, and we'd love to have you come to visit sometime.
We'd love to see it.
Wonderful. I get all the jelly beans though.
No. I understand that you have a connection to Loretto and her granddaughter, and that this has something to do with how it is that you came to be on our show today. Can you tell us?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's hear the goods. Come on.
That was a wonderful story in that she called me to say that she had been at the Center for Chemo and Radiation in Annapolis, and I believe it was her husband who was having care there. And while he was being cared there, she was waiting with her granddaughter, and her granddaughter had seen a display of our sun catchers and angels that were in the lobby for the people to see while they're waiting. And her granddaughter spied the cardinal and really liked that. So
This cardinal right
yes,
here?
Yes, the sun catcher's cardinal. So
Quite
I brought that today for her granddaughter.
Because her granddaughter just came up to our producer Loretta and pointed out, this cardinal and was like,
That's what she
What?
wanted.
Somehow intuitively knew that what you were doing was creating the energy that would be so prismatic and reaching out to so many to help fund cancer research, which is very near and dear to Loretta's heart due to her husband's
treatment and everything, yeah.
right now.
And what's
Yes.
wonderful that her granddaughter was perceptive enough to see this and to feel this and want to be a part of it. And I think that's important, that everyone who's dealing with cancer or their family, their friends, they're all involved together and they all want to help. And I think it's wonderful that a youngster would motivate that and remember that and get a feeling for what is important to them.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, it's a great way to kind of have that, come about, especially, the cancer theme obviously being important to Loretto, and then, the eyes of a child kind of bringing this all together, letting you share your story with us and the rest of, everybody watching the show today.
And who doesn't love intuitive stories? There's a little witch in all of us.
Absolutely.
Are there any last thoughts that you'd like to leave us with, any anecdotes?
Well, I think the most important thing of all that I really feel is important to share is that any group of everyday people can do an absolutely incredible thing. Now, I started out just to make one angel, and with the help of my volunteers, we created over 40,000 angels and an unknown number of sun catchers, and together we've been able to raise this incredible amount of $845,000. But more important than that is millions of people across the country and around the world that we've touched by this endeavor, and that's what means the most. One time we were asked if we would do it commercially and have a company make the angels. I would design them as I design all the artwork in my studio, and then have someone make it. But no, it has to be made by hands of people working together, because not only does the beautiful artwork result, but the recipient realizes that there's love, hope, care, and comfort that is passed along to everyone. And that's what my volunteers want everyone to know, that what we're doing it for. And we, or any group of people, can really make a difference if they work together. And that's what we want to talk about.
That is incredible. Thank you so much for coming out here and sharing this all with us.
It's a pleasure.
It
Thank you.
was an honor.
It was an
Thank
honor
you.
to talk with you. I wish you more happy holidays.
Absolutely.
You as well.
And to our viewers, The website again will be appearing where you can buy these,
CaringCollection.org.
caringcollection.org, and go out here, support the cause. Hopefully we'll be able to make that $1 million for you soon enough.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
And again, the number is 410-849-5333.
Thank you very much. And we'll be back with Top of the Morning after a short break.
You've got nothing to lose. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? Ooh-wee, baby.
Captain Larry is on the bridge, ready to begin your harbor cruise.
That's fine, sir.
Your tour begins in Baltimore's historic harbor, a short puddle jump from the Maryland Science Center. As we sail out of the harbor and throughout the cruise, you'll learn little-known facts, like did you know we're not in the Chesapeake Bay? We're sailing along the Patapsco River. From our starboard side, that's the right side for you land lovers, we'll see Federal Hill, where the federal Constitution was ratified and where modern-day revolutionaries like to party all night. The really hip museum on the right is called the American Visionary Arts Museum. To display work here, you have to have raw talent, no formal training allowed. Around the bend is the old Bethlehem Steel Shipyard, which built Liberty ships during World War II. The Harbor View condos are built where the shipyard used to be. The Baltimore Museum of Industry highlights Charm City's contributions to our nation's workforce. Check out Baltimore's first fire tug, which celebrates its 100th birthday in 2006. Got a sweet tooth? Then you'll love hearing about the Domino Sugar Plant. We'll sail beside a true war hero, the naval ship Comfort, which is just back from treating wounded soldiers in Iraq. Oh, say can you see Fort McHenry? This is the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner. At the Francis Scott Key Bridge, the captain turns around, but there's much more to see. The Port of Baltimore. The gold domes of St. Michael's Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Fells Point. Inner Harbor East. The Coast Guard cutter Taney, the last ship to survive Pearl Harbor. And as we're pulling into port, there's the world-famous National Aquarium.
So be my guest, you've got nothing to lose.
Welcome to the Top of the Morning Show. I'm your host, Tina Bird.
And I'm Kevin Costello.
Joining us today is filmmaker, documentarian, and single mother, Shari Chase.
Welcome to the show, Shari. So I've heard. Well, first off, you are another host of Top of the Morning. So welcome to the other side of the table. I've been hearing some great things about your children, obviously, who you're proud of. Why don't you start with talking a little bit about that?
Oh, I have two wonderful boys, Brent and Alec, 14 and 16. It's amazing how quickly they grow up, and they're fabulous. They've been through some trials and tribulations, as I have been through the years, but they've also had some glorious moments too.
And they were part of your documentary, It Can Happen to You?
Yes, definitely were.
So why don't we talk a little bit about that? What was sort of the inspiration for making that a reality?
Well, my children, who are everything to me, we all lived together in Laurel, Maryland with their dad, and they were all developing wonderfully. Matter of fact, it took us 10 years to have them. They were the first ICSI babies in the world, and which assisted people that could not have babies. And anyway, they were developing, as I said, wonderfully, and life was great and good. And sometime back, I guess it was 11 years ago, my youngest son, who at the time was a little bit under 2, stopped talking one day. He went from talking and only saying Barney Mom. And unfortunately, we found out later on, 8 months later, that we were all being poisoned by arsenic, and he ended up being autistic.
Wow.
So the past 11 years has been quite the path, and had so many trials and tribulations, but our producer, Loretto, was kind enough to co-produce a documentary called It Can Happen to You that made people more aware of what they are creating in the world and their impact that they would have on other people, children, adults, or whatever.
Wow.
So that's that was the inspiration. The inspiration behind it was I really felt that often when someone is working a job, whether they're making a little trinket, a toy, a missile, an airplane, a package of cereal, that each person has their hands involved in a product, really needs to be completely knowledgeable on what their end product is so they can be safe and all of us can live in a very healthy world.
Right. I mean, you're talking about these products. What exactly was it in your case that led to your son, your arsenic poisoning and your son's development of autism?
Well, we didn't know, so we had to hire a company, and they had to delve in and find out, what specifically was poisonous.
Right. And did they come to a conclusion about what that was?
We did.
What was it?
It was a lawn product that we were putting, a fertilizer that we were putting on our lawn. And unfortunately, unbeknownst to even the fertilizer company, which we put ourselves, the company that we were purchasing the product from, it was loaded with arsenic.
Wow.
And later on, we found out we had 3 routes of poisoning. One was dermal. My little boy and I've always been a scrappy mom. I have my prissy, nice side, and then I have my fun, athletic, and gets down in the dirt side. And my little boy and I would crawl all around our backyard, and we'd have little picnics in our backyard. And both my children, Brent also, we spent so much time outside. We barbecued. I had made a conscious decision never to use a pesticide, only to have fertilizer and grow and grow and grow. Loved crabgrass. We had as I said, we had our own garden, and we didn't know that all along this fertilizer that we were using in the bare spots in our backyard had poison on it that was being leached into our food, blown onto our barbecue. So that was the first route, which is dermal. The second route, unfortunately, in August in Maryland, we have acid rain, and it changes arsenic into arsenic gas, and we were inhaling it. And the third one was my little boy, and all of us were eating it through our food, but worst of all, I was nursing, which I thought was and I still stand by it, it's the healthiest thing for a child.
Right,
but he was nursing poisoned milk. And as a result, that's what happened.
Wow.
Very informative.
Yeah, very. Thank you much. Thank you very much for
Very welcome.
getting that out there for people.
Very, very welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fantastic. We're going to take a short break for right now, but then we will be back with Top of the Morning.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Tina Bird.
I'm Kevin Costello, and we are here with Shari Chase, who is a documentary filmmaker and host of Top of the Morning. Yeah, we were just taking a look at your documentary, what was going on. We were talking about it being shown at and what was, it was shown?
Right, it actually was presented at the World Safety Congress. It's the largest safety event in Congress for the safety individuals and owners of businesses all over the world. We had 17,000 attendees, and it was the first time ever in America. So we really had a great impact, including the opportunity to talk to the safety minister of China, who at the time, they were just getting over the hump of not really being conscientious about their minors, and they were disposable humans. And they were making a decision then, and did make an announcement that they would start improving their safety practices. I believe it was 7 years out that it was their plan to have safe mines. So although I, of course, as a person who is extremely safety conscious, would have liked it to happen right then and there, at least I felt that was the furthest outstretch that I could think of getting, to having a country who had not necessarily been conscientious about the safety of their inhabitants, and I sparked enough. Something that I just wanted to mention, and I think this is something very, very important. I had the pleasure of hosting a presentation. I was one of the speakers at the Safety Congress, and people knew about our film that we had produced. And the individual speaking with me was the president of the world's largest mining company in the world. And when he came in, I expected a very serious presentation, and instead he came in, he jokes around that he had free diamonds for everyone, and he had people laugh. And then I got up to talk about our film and about the experiences, and I had my laptop at a prepared PowerPoint presentation, and I could see there was no passion there. I just closed it up, and I put a picture of my son up, and I said, let me talk to you. This could happen to you. It could happen to anybody. We as individuals need to be conscientious about everything we do on every single day. There's consequences to everything. If we take a